Hello, welcome to class today. I am glad to be here with you. And this slower paced class today is going to be focused on hip strength and stretching, plus some mobility. And by hip, I'm going to expand that and say, if we think about our hips, there's these muscles or these bones that are like the bowl of our pelvis. And then really we have a hip joint, which then is where our femur, our leg then enters the pelvis, right? And has the ball and socket joint. And so we think of the hip joints. Now, what supports our hip joint? What is both the strength, stretch, and mobility that is involved within the hip joints of our body? So that's what we're going to explore today. So really what that means is that this is going to be our ass. This is going to be the flip side of that being our hip flexors. And then this is like the front and the back, right? So glutes, hip flexors. And then we're going to have the outer thighs and we're going to have the inner thighs. So there's the entire circumference of our thighs is the stretch, strength, and mobility of our time together today. To begin, I want you to gather any sort of props that feel like they're most supportive to you. I have blocks and a bolster and a blanket here for myself. I may use them, I may not, but they're available for me. So if you want to gather something so that you can really stay localized and not feel like you're running all over the place, you're welcome to do that. And then I want you to come to a lying down position. I'm going to come to a Supta Baddha Konasana. So that is a bound angle. A bound angle with the soles of your feet together. You can take your blocks and set them up underneath your knees, like so. So just if it feels like too much at the beginning of class as we're here together, to just let your knees have this dangling sort of effect that they do. Unless, of course, your legs will right down to the ground, which is the case for some folks. And you can have that support, and then maybe it allows you to relax into this a little bit more. You're going to crawl your way down onto your back. You can lay down onto your back to begin with, and then find that motion with the blocks. Bring the soles of your feet together and relax there. If you have a blanket or warm things you want to lay on top of you, you're welcome to do that. Even if you have a bolster, you can set that down on top of your hips. So if you do have something, I would say at this moment, especially knowing we're going to hips, set something a little bit heavier on your hips. It's going to feel really grounding to you to have something laying on top of you. Find your way into this position. Lay down on your back. Let your arms fall out to the sides. Rest your palms up towards the ceiling. Take an aware in-breath and a conscious out-breath. Let's be a moment of calibration for you, a moment of being here, of arriving. As you are here in this place, I want you to think about this idea of stretch and strength and mobility. As you arrive here and think about those things and the way that they pertain to us as our physical practice of thinking of our hip joint, right? And this way that sometimes that outer focus is what leads us inward. And just don't force anything. There's one thing I've learned, that if you force something, if you try to force a lesson, if you try to force yourself to believe one thing or another, or to not believe something, it doesn't work. So maybe this class is one where you're like, wow, I needed to feel stretch and strength and mobility in an inward sort of way, and something totally unpertaining to this class. Great. If you find that and feel that, fantastic. And if you're here with your body and your body is like, oh my gosh, strength, stretch, and mobile, That's great. Don't force anything. Let it be easy. And let this be a continued practice of awareness. Let this be the practice of paying attention and finding out where you arrive today. Really let the weight of your knees fall open. Feel the way that your back connects to the ground. Soften your jaw, soften your forehead. Let nothing be forced. Take a conscious in-breath and out-breath. Start to move your fingers, stretch them, bend them, maybe rotate your wrists, reach your hands up and over your head. Lift your knees up off the blocks if they're there, or just lift them together. Place your feet flat on the ground. You can find an arch of your back or connect your back to the ground, whatever feels good in that particular moment. Find any sort of wiggle or stretch or twist that you would like. If you had a blanket or a bolster on top of you, go ahead and remove that, set that off to the side. Your blocks you can also move off to the side. I did grab a strap if you have a strap available, or if that is helpful for you in a stretching of the backside of your body, you're welcome to grab that. So helpful, especially as we begin a class, we're going to come to a one single-legged stretch here. So I want you to extend your left leg long now. Let this be gentle as we're here for a moment. So extend your left leg long, reach your hands around your right shin and pull your right knee into your body. Now, as this is a slower pace class, this just means that we're not going to be moving breath pace. We might have a very small moment towards the end, but we're definitely going to have some slower parts and maybe parts that are not necessarily slow, but not necessarily like super fast, okay? Let this be easy. Let there be time for you to really pay attention between our transitions. With your right leg now, if you have a strap, you can hook your strap around the bottom of your foot, put it in that foot pad, so that ball of your foot, and you're going to push your foot up towards the ceiling. If you have the strap, you're going to work your hands up the strap and then make your legs straight and hold on to both ends of the strap with your hands. I can certainly reach my foot without the strap. Okay? I don't know why I put the word certainly in there, but that's something I can do. However, I also enjoy using a strap. So if you have a strap, grab onto both ends of the strap that are on either side of your foot. Now keep your left leg a little bit active here. Push the back of your left thigh down and flex your left toes up towards the ceiling, that long leg that's straight on the ground. Pull your shoulder blades on your back and pull them down your back. Pull your low ribs towards the ground. Now push your foot up into the strap, pull the strap back onto your foot, keep your right knee straight. And let your toes be dragged down towards, or be pulled down, the top of your foot be pulled down towards your chest. Full breaths in and out. You can do this without a strap as well. Keep that left leg active. I like the addition of a strap here as well as we take this out to the side. With both ends of the strap on either side of your right foot, bring them together and then hold on to them with your right hand. Bring your left hand on the top of your left thigh. Now, with your right leg sticking up into the air, think of your outer hips, okay? So your glutes, think of them squeezing together, outer hips squeezing together on the back side of your body. Shift your weight to that left side and let your right leg fall out to the right. As your right leg lowers down to the ground on the right side, don't let your body tip over to the right. Keep those outer glutes squeezing towards each other on the back side of your body. Keep your weight and your core really shifting heavily to the left side. You can bend your right elbow as you hold your foot up. You're gonna let that foot come all the way out to the side. To that right side. Keep the back of your left thigh pushing down towards the ground. You can let your band go out a little bit more if you need to find the stretch that you need. You're of course welcome to keep your right leg bent as well. Pause and hold that. Some of you may get your leg all the way down to the ground. You're welcome to do that and have that moment there. There's going to be a range of flexibility of this day and of each body. Reach your right leg again back up towards the ceiling. If you had to hold the strap or your foot, you can help yourself do that. Now, this one's interesting. Keep your body grounded. So your back is grounded, your hips are grounded, your left leg stays the same. Don't let your right hip, so don't let your right butt cheek pop up off the ground. And I want you to cross your right leg over to the left. Keep the right hip bone down. So you can feel maybe on the back side of your body how the right side is touching the mat. Maybe you can feel your bony part of your pelvis on that side. Don't let that pop up, but cross your right leg over to the left side of your body. A different sort of stretch than going the other way. Don't let that pop up. Keep pulling down on the strap, pushing your strap up against your foot. Push your foot up against the strap. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, release back to center and relax your right leg down. Oh, wiggle out as you need. And let's switch sides. Grab a hold of your left shin and pull your left knee into your chest. Let your right leg relax for just a moment as you're here. With your strap, wrap your strap around the ball of your left foot, with a hand on either side of your foot there on the strap. Make your right leg active. Push the back of your right thigh down towards the ground. Flex your toes towards your face on that right side. Now wrap your shoulders down onto the mat. Pull your low ribs in so your front core is braced, not turning into like a back bend. Okay, push your strap, push up into the strap with your foot, but then pull that foot down towards you. Push your left leg as straight as it will go, as is comfortable in this place for you. Comfortable with an edge, shall we say, yeah? Comfortable in the stretch, meaning that we're not going towards pain, we're going towards sensation now. So what is the sensation that you're feeling now? I recognize sometimes when I'm stretching that I'm fighting it. I think I want to say it that way, where sometimes I realize that there's a layer of relaxation into a stretch where our nerves are stretching as our muscles are stretching. And so there's the body's way of like wanting to protect itself. And sometimes I realize that I'm holding myself tense and I actually need to relax a little bit, and then I enjoy the stretch a little bit more. Bring the straps together. Hold on to them with your left hand. Place your right hand on top of your right thigh. Push the back of your right thigh down towards the ground. Think of grounding your core over to that right side. Think of squeezing your hips on the back side of your body, and release your left leg out to the left side. Keep pushing your foot into that strap. Pull your foot back towards you. Keep that right glute still down onto the ground. Don't let yourself tip over. Pause and hold here. Keep it there. Push that left leg straight. Okay, keep pushing the back of your right thigh down. Keep your right heel on the ground. Yes, nice work. Lift your left leg all the way back up again. Now we're coming to that cross body. Keep your shoulders where they are. Keep your hips where they are. Recognize that feeling in the back of your left side on your glutes, right? The back side of your pelvis, it's touching the ground. Do not let it pop up, but now start to cross your left leg over to the right side. Keep that left bony part of your pelvis on the ground. Keep pushing your left leg straight. Woo! Woo, this is good things. Nice. Keep that down. If it pops up, then maybe you went too far. Reground that to left side, then come back to it. Release your leg upright. Take your foot out of the strap. So your strap off to the side. Bring both feet down to the ground. So bring both feet down to the ground. When you drop your, have it be so your knees are going to be over your ankles. So not walking too far forward with your feet, but having your heels be a little bit closer to your butt. As you are here, I want you to think of, we're going to do some bridge roll-ups. And so to begin with, I want you to ground your low back down to the ground. So instead of having the arch, which sometimes we lay down in the natural curvature of our spine, we have an arch under our low back. I want you to push that down into the ground. And as you push that down to the ground, then I want you to lift up from your tailbone. So you're going to lift your butt up off the mat first. Then you're going to roll up, think your low back, mid back, and roll up all the way to your shoulders. Now I want you to take a peek down your body, thinking your shoulders to your knees. Could you draw a line from your shoulders to knees? Butts, the way our bellies, the way a chest can look. There's going to be like curvature to it, right? But thinking knees to shoulders, is that mostly a straight line? We're not trying to thrust into the ceiling. Right? So thinking of those hip bones, of knees and hip bones and shoulders. Excellent. Roll down from top to bottom. So thinking shoulders and mid back and then low back, and then roll all the way down so your butt touches the ground. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze your, not necessarily squeeze, but lift your glutes, squeeze them a little bit, because as you actually squeeze your glutes, you're lifting yourself up and forward. So the squeeze on one side is the opening on the other, all the way up to the top. Pause and hold. Inhale. Exhale. On this next inhale, lower all the way back down. And exhale. Oh, yes. Another inhale. Exhale, roll up, butt, low back, mid back, upper back. Inhale, roll back down. Reverse it, exhale. Inhale, roll down. Exhale, roll up. As you exhale, you're thinking of the squeezing your glutes, lifting up. On your exhale, try to soften your glutes. Thinking of releasing and softening down the backside of your body. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, roll it down. Exhale, back up. Inhale, take it back down. Good, pause. Pull your knees into your chest. Feel free to sway from side to side. Wiggle out your ankles. Perfect. Extend your legs long. Reach your hands alongside your body. Lift your shoulders off the ground. Lift your head up off the ground. Lift your arms up off the ground. Now lift your feet up off the ground. We're in low boat. Here we are. Okay, in this position now, I want you to look at your belly. I want you to pull your belly down towards the ground a little bit. Whew. Lift everything up to boat. Here we are. Now, let's keep it. Everything we just were doing some glutes. We're squeezing the glutes. We're squeezing the backside of our body. Lift your shins so they're level with the ground. Lift your chest up. You can grab onto the back of your thighs. Be able to find that lift with your chest. Boat pose is a hip flexor pose, especially hip flexor strength pose. We might not focus on the strength or stretch of a particular pose, but this is definitely working our hip flexor to hold ourselves up. Okay? I want you to take your right toes and tap them down to the ground. Your arms can be doing whatever you want. You can hold them at prayer. You can reach them alongside your body. You can be jamming with it. Left toes down, right toes down. Left toes down, right toes down. You're going to alternate. My hip flexors are already talking to me. So to have the pause, we're there in the middle together. Pause, and then switch it. And pause, and then switch it. And pause, and then switch it. Pause, and switch. We're going to stretch out what this is doing right now to our hip flexors. They're like, oh, this is what it feels like. Good. Option, instead of bringing your legs to parallel, straighten them as much as you can. Yes. Okay, 4 more times total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Stay there. Bend your right leg. Cross your right shin underneath your left leg. Drop your left foot down. Excellent. We're in this position. Right shin is right in front of me with my left foot in front of that. I want you to rock forward. So this is going to be hard if your foot is really close to your right leg. So a little bit more gap. You might need to have your hands beside you and push yourself up to this position to be on your shin and on your right shin and your left foot. You also could do that with no hands. Lean your way forward and rise up onto your shin and onto your front foot. Bring your fingertips to the ground on either side of that left foot and step your right foot to the back of the mat. Drop your right knee down, drop your right palm down, and then lean into this low lunge. You can take this into a twist here for a moment. Now push up and out of this lunge a little bit so that your hip stacks on top of your right knee. Thinking of the work we have just done in this hip flexor. Okay, we want to think of taking your tailbone down, pull your low ribs in, reach your right hand high, and lean your right arm over to the left side. Still thinking of putting your hips more forward towards the front of the mat. Circle your right hand forward. You can tap your right fingertips on the ground, tuck your right toes underneath you, lift your right foot up, your right knee up off the mat, and I want you to rotate to Skandasana to the back of the mat. So in order to do that, you're going to rotate your right foot parallel to the back edge of the mat, switch the bend in your legs, so now your bend goes to the back leg and your front leg is straight. Hey, keep it up high here for just a moment. So we're not dropping all the way down to our heel, stay up high. Good, now take your left hand, place your left hand in front of your right toes. Turn your toes all to the back of the mat. Drop your left knee down. Make a twist open now to the right side. Play with this. Turn this into a variation that feels good for you. Maybe you lean your hips more forward. And wheel yourself up and out of this for a moment. Stack your hips right on top of your knee. Sending your hips now towards that back of the mat. Reach your left hand high. And then lean your left arm over to the right side of your body. Circle your hand forward. Drop your left fingertips to the mat. Lift your left knee up off the mat. Rotate your left foot parallel to the top edge of the mat, and then rock yourself back to Skandasana now to the front side of the mat. Plant your right fingertips in front of your left toes. Spin both of your toes and feet forward to the front of the mat. Good. And stand all the way up onto your left foot. Bring your right knee up to level with your hips. Big movement. We went from down on the ground all the way up to standing. Beautiful. With this right leg lifted, now take your right foot behind your left foot. With your right foot behind your left foot, I want you to drop your weight back into your heel. So we're balancing 100% on our left foot. Take your right foot behind your left and send your weight back into that back foot. So we have equal weight distribution on both sides. Reach your right hand up and over your side body, over towards, there's a sideways lean towards that left side. Right, lean forward again into your left foot. So take out the lean, bring your hips and your shoulders square more to the front of the mat. Lift up your right toes, take your hands down to the ground, option, or down to blocks, option. So raise the ground. And then with this back right leg, that your leg was just done, I want you to bend your right knee, drop your right shin down to the mat. So we're back to our shin down and sit your butt back behind that right foot. And bring yourself back to boat again. Oh, great. Boat. You can either have your shins parallel to the ground or lift your feet, point them up. Ready, set, let's switch the feet. Yes, and switch the feet. Oh yeah, switch the feet. Switch it. Yeah, you can. Switch it. Yeah, you can. Switch it. Yeah, you can. Switch it. Yep. Yep. Woo! Yep. Yep. Okay, great. 4 more times total. Ready? 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Excellent. From this position, bend your left leg, cross your left shin down onto the ground, lean forward as you drop your right foot down onto the mat. You can take your hands behind you, help push yourself up, or lean forward onto your left shin and right foot. From here, plant your fingertips onto the ground and step your left foot to the back of the mat. As you shift your left foot to the back of the mat, rise up to a high lunge. In this high lunge, we're finding an even distribution between our front foot and our back foot. So we're not excessively leaning forward into our front leg, and we're not leaning excessively into our back leg. So find that center ground. Legs are working. Pull your right hip back, left hip forward. Whew, there we go. Hips are level. Ground your front big toe down for stability. You can have your hands onto your hips. Bring some awareness into your front body. So thinking, what are my ribs doing? Pull those little ribs in just a little bit. Now, go ahead and let them expand. Let me think of this in our ribs for a moment. Okay, take them in. We're working on strength of this moment in our legs. Let's distract yourself by our ribs. Open it up, expand. Thinking spinal extension now. Bring that in. Open it up, extension in your back. And flexion, take your spine forward, almost like you're thinking cat back. And one more time, take it cow. Oh gosh, one more time, take it cat. Good, open up warrior 2. Oh, the back thigh. Is this back quad? I feel in my back quad. That's a lot. Okay, great. Keep that right knee moving forward, same direction as the right toes. You can have the front heel to back arch alignment. You can have a spread between those legs. Do what feels like it's gonna be success in your body today. Take your tailbone down, shoulders stacked right on top of your hips. Keep leaning into this front leg. Turn the back quad on. Reach your right hand forward, reach your left hand back. Pull your shoulder blades down your back and reach to opposite sides. Take your gaze in a place that you don't usually look, or close your eyes. What does that do? How does that change things if you take a different perspective? Drop your left hand to the back leg, reach your right hand up and back, keep leaning into your front leg, take a reverse warrior 2. Excellent. In this position now, straighten your front leg, take your gaze to your back toes, put a bend in your left knee, circle your right hand towards the back of the mat, towards the ground, reach it all the way forward, Skandasana now to the back of the mat. Let's reverse this. Take your front arm, your right arm, sweep it towards the back of the mat. Drop your front toes down, switch the bend in your legs, take it to reverse warrior 2. Again, take this to Skandasana, lean in the back knee. With your right hand, sweep it towards the back, the ground, and forward, Skandasana. Again, take it to reverse warrior 2. Circle the hand towards the back, the right hand towards the back, and then forward. And then switch it to after you come to Skandasana, reverse warrior 2. Open it back up again. One more time. Take it to Skandasana. From here, extended side angle. Drop your elbow onto your knee. Straighten your back leg. And then option here, elbow to knee, or take your block, place your block down inside your front leg and bring your hand onto your block. Push your leg onto your arm and your arm onto your leg. Roll your right shoulder blade onto your back. Send your hips towards that left side. Open your chest towards the ceiling. Reach your left hand high. Turn your palm facing forward towards the front of the mat and reach. Extend out of that outer edge of your left foot out through those fingertips. Get long. Get long. There's different things happening in both of your hips right now in this moment. There's different strength things as you're pushing your leg on your arm on your leg. You're pushing the outer edge of your left foot down into the ground. Beautiful. Turn your gaze towards the front of the mat. I want you to turn this into a half moon pose. Sometimes this is helpful to take the back leg, bend the back knee, and hop your back foot a little bit more forward. Bring your hand to a block or to the ground as you lift your back leg up. Keep your left hand on your left hip so you can be a little bit more aware by having some feedback with your hands of where that hip is. And how open is your hip to the side? Not necessarily trying to find any sort of particular opening. What happens when we open our hip to the side is this bottom leg experiences more external rotation. It's more out, right? It's making those muscles on the side butt of our right side of our standing leg be a little bit shorter. Right? So it means that there has to be more flexibility on the inner leg of our right side. Okay. Lift your left leg up high, flex your left toes towards your face, push out and away from the block or the ground that your hand is on. Yeah. Good. From here, put a bend in your standing leg, square your hips now to the top of the mat, bend your left knee, bring both knees down together, drop your left foot down to meet your right, reach both hands up and high, come to chair pose. And keep your weight evenly distributed between your feet and between your toes and your heels. And stand, draw your hands to your heart. Reach your hands out to the ceiling and forward fold. In this forward fold, grab onto your opposite elbows. Let the top of your head dangle down towards the ground. Let a bend stay in your knees as you then relax your entire back towards the ground. Drop your fingers to the mat, lift your chest halfway, pick up your right foot, extend your right foot to the back of the mat. As you extend it there, I want you to wheel yourself then back to a high lunge with your left leg forward. Beautiful. Keep the front left big toe down. If it starts to pop up, you'll start to feel like it's hard to balance. Keep that inner edge of your left foot down onto the ground. Good. In this position, things happening, hip flexor opening things, quads strengthening sorts of things to hold yourself up. We're going to turn our attention to our rib cage here for a moment. I want you to turn this into a spinal extension, thinking cat back and cow back. You can make your arms have motions. Oh, I just said it opposite, cat back, right? You can have your arms be motions that match something that you feel within your chest. Alternate this for cat and cow back within your crescent lunge. Letting your ribs shine forward, right? To be like, oh, hello, ribs. And then pull them in. Try to push and round in your spine and your upper back. As you take that rounding, let's do one more time both ways. Round it in. Good. And open it up. Yes. Warrior two, woo! That outer thigh, that back thigh. At least that's where I'm feeling it. Where are you feeling it? Okay, good. Bend into your front leg, tailbone down. Pushing the outer edge of that back foot. Pull your shoulder blades down, reach your right hand forward, your left hand forward, right hand back. This time turn your palms face up. Put a bend in your elbows. And as you put a bend in your elbows, try to think of lifting your chest straight up, straight up. Reach your hands out to the side again, but stay tall through that top of your chest. Reverse your warrior. Take your right hand down to the ground behind you. Reach your left hand up and back behind you. Take your gaze to your back right toes. Perfect. Now switch the bend in your legs. Push your front leg straight, bend your back leg with your left hand. Circle it towards the back, towards the ground and forward. And release your right hand off your right leg. Coming to Skandasana with flying arms out to the side. Now reverse this back to reverse warrior two. Plant your front foot. Switch the bend in your knees, right hand back. Sweep your left hand back towards the back of the mat and up and over as if you're going to reverse warrior two then again. Again, switch it. Bend in your legs, Skandasana, circle the top hand back and down and forward. And then reverse it. Back hand, front hand goes back and then up. Again, coming to Skandasana. And then taking it back. Again, coming to Skandasana. Forward to extended side angle. Option to bring your left elbow to your left knee. If you need to adjust the distance between your feet, please do so. Or you can bring your block down to the ground. This one has a chunk out of it, so that's exciting. If your blocks have chunks from children or animals and pets, that's great. Use those ones. Put your block down inside your leg. Push your leg onto your arm and your arm onto your leg. You're going to find a lot of activation in this left leg then in that way. Push into the outer edge of that back right foot. Think of twist, pulling your lower ribs in and then twist your chest open towards the ceiling. And think of leaning your hips towards that right side. Reach your right hand up, turn your palm forward, and reach your right hand forward. Keep pushing the front leg and arm onto each other. Keep that back leg super straight and strong. Reach out from our fingertips and then all the way down to the back of your outer foot. Think of like that energy coming from the ground and like shooting out through your fingertips. Excellent. We're going to come to a half moon pose. I want you to bend into your back leg, jump it a little bit more forward if you need to. And then as you jump it up a little bit more forward, and I want you to take your block and set it in front of you for your half moon pose, or perhaps the ground. Bring your right hand to your right hip. With your hand on your right hip, lift your right leg up, flex your right toes towards the ceiling. Be aware of what you're asking your left hip to do in this rotation open. We have like the ground as kind of using it as a prop in a way of helping ourselves open in this external rotation, so be mindful and aware of that. Keep pushing out of the block with your left hand. Perfect. Bend your left knee, bend your right knee, square your hips down to the ground. Up your right foot down onto the ground and rise up to chair pose. Let your weight be evenly distributed between your toes and your heels. Good. Stand all the way up, pull your hands down to your heart, straighten your legs. Lift your left knee up so it's level with your hips. Great. And with your left foot lifted, I want you to cross it behind you. We did this a bit ago on the other side. Take your left toes behind you, even off the mat. Drop your toes down, twisted behind your right leg. Send your weight back into that right foot so you're evenly distributed between both feet. Lift your left hand high, and then lean your left arm over to the right side of your body, over to the right side of the mat. Good. As you come from here, lift your left arm back high again. Send your weight forward into your right foot. Lift your left heel up off the mat, and then you're going to drop straight down onto this back shin. You leave these back toes grounded as you take a little squat and drop your knee down, or you can release that foot from the ground, drop your knee down. You can also take your hands to blocks and help yourself get down. Drop your left shin down onto the mat, and then sit all the way back behind your left foot. Here we are in boat pose. Ready, set, here we are. Drop it down to a low boat. With this low boat, I want your low back connected to the ground. Low back connected to the ground, yeah. And lift it back up and drop it back down. Good. I want you to drop it all the way down, lay down. Yes. Bring your hands to the front side of your body. Hopefully your belly is soft. Yeah, soft belly. What happens with your fingers on your belly now? I want you to pull your low back down towards the ground and lift your shoulders up off the mat. What's happening now? Back is pushing down to the ground. Shoulders are lifting off, head is lifting off. Okay, so then there's your abs, okay? There's your abs right there. Your legs aren't even doing anything. If we lift our legs up off, now we're including these hip flexors in with these abs. Okay, so that's that work. We can only curl so much. This is as much as my abs are going to curl together. So everything from here is going to be hip flexors. It's going to be these places that are trying to get our legs closer to our torso as we rise up to a boat pose. Hallelujah. I'll straighten your legs as much as possible. Wind them up. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to flow through what we have done. I want you to bend your right leg, cross your right shin underneath you, drop your left foot forward, rock yourself forward onto your left foot from your right shin and left foot. Plant your fingertips on the ground, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Rise all the way up to a crescent lunge, high lunge. Be there for a moment, hips square forward. Open up warrior two. Adjust the distance between your feet. Set them up in a place that is success for you. Reverse your warrior. And take that back to Skandasana, to the back of the mat. Drop that into the position that you would like. Keep your left toes facing forward though. From here, send yourself forward to extended side angle. You take your hand to a knee, fingertips to the ground, arm inside your leg, maybe holding onto your shin. And reaches up to half moon pose. Half moon pose on your left side. We're gonna come into some more single leg balancing. From this half moon pose, bend your standing leg, square your hips, bring your right knee next to your left knee. And instead of sitting down in chair, I want you to pull your hands to your heart, stand all the way up. So you stand up, cross your left arm over to your right leg, either holding onto that leg or maybe onto the outer edge of your bottom right foot. And kick your right foot more forward or keep a hold of that knee the whole time. Pull your low ribs in and twist and turn your torso towards the right side of your mat. You're going to push your foot into your hand into your foot. Extend your right leg straight forward from your right hip, not crossing your body. Pull your left shoulder blade on your back. Woo, I'm falling. Now turn your torso back forward, bend your right knee so your right foot goes across your body, and bend your left leg, taking this to a pigeon squat, legs on each other. My left ankle is saying that I've been doing things for a minute, but we're gonna be here. Take your arms out to the side. Bring your hand to the bottom of the foot, another hand to your right knee, and you can find some wiggle with this. With your right hand, hold on to that outer edge, cross your hand on top of your right foot, hold on to the outer edge of that right foot, stand back up again, you got this. Maybe you hold your knee with your right leg bent, maybe you extend it out somewhere with your leg bent or straight. Beautiful. Release that foot, circled all the way back behind you. Airplane arms, warrior three. We're gonna set this down. Drop your right toes down. Shift your weight back. So it's equal between both feet. Hallelujah. That left ankle was real talking to me. Be here for a moment. Keep that split stance. You can bring your hands to your body. Okay, we're ready for more. Lean your weight again more forward into your left leg. Keep your right toes on the ground. With your right toes on the ground, keep your hips square. So right hip forward, left hip forward as well. Equal, so to draw a line between those front hip bones, can be level and parallel to the front edge of the mat. So not open to the side, square to the front. This back toe is here as a stability point. So your front ankle doesn't have to do all the work. Now I want you to keep your hands on your hips. I want you to think of pouring your chest forward and your hips go back. Just a very slight bend in your left knee. Okay, so take your chest forward so your shoulders are level with your hips. Stand all the way back up again. Stand tall. Again, bend forward. And stand tall. When you bend forward, don't let your hips swivel open to the right side. Keep that left hip pulling back. Take it forward. Let there be a small bend in that front knee, but really focusing on this hinge at the hips. Take it back. And lift it back up again. Yes. Take it back. And lift it back up again. Option, you can stay exactly as you are. You can increase the intensity by either taking your hands out to the side or even more intensity, hands overhead. Keep those hips square and forward. Send yourself forward. Pause. Hold wherever you are. 3 and 2. Pick up your back foot maybe. And 1. Go. Take your hands down to the ground. Standing splits on your left leg. Bend your right leg. Being here for just a moment. Take your right shin down to the ground so you can drop your toes to the outer edge, drop your knee down, or do it with no hands. Okay, there's several options. And you're gonna sit all the way back behind your right heel. Come back to boat. From this boat, drop back down to low boat with your low back touching the mat and release it. Lay however you like to release in this moment. Okay, let's do more. It's just a reminder at this moment though, just lay here, that your ability to have more awareness of your body, your ability to have more control of where your body is in the room, on the mat, in space, is built on your connection to the sensation in your body. It is connected and affected by the strength and trust you have in your body to be able to move and transition. And movements like this that we're doing are not particularly fast, but they are certainly effective. Slow is definitely stronger in this moment. Do not force anything, but keep moving forward. Conscious exhale. Open your eyes. Pull your low back down to the ground. Lift your chest. Lift your shoulders. Feel that work of your core. Now lift your legs up. Yep. Eye boat, lift it up. Maybe straighten your legs. Bend your left leg. Cross your left leg underneath you onto your shin. Drop your right foot forward. Find your way all the way to a high lunge with your right foot forward. Step your left foot back. Reach your hands high. High lunge here. Open it up. Warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Find your Skandasana. Find your extended side angle. From extended side angle, we're finding half moon pose. Keep that top leg lifting. From here, put a bend in your right leg as you square your hips down towards the mat. Pull your left knee close to your right leg. Pull your hands to your heart. Stand all the way up. As you stand up, cross your right hand to your right knee to twist to your left, or bring a hand to your foot. Your left leg can stay bent, or it can be pushing straight. Pull your right shoulder blade on your back as you do so. Keep this left foot extending straight from your hip, not necessarily crossing your body all the way to the other side. Right, stay tall. Pull your low ribs in as you find that twist to look back behind you. Look forward, look sideways, look somewhere that's interesting, somewhere that you can feel grounded and stable. Sometimes that means quiet on the inside or falling over. Bring your torso back forward. Let your left knee bend so your left foot then crosses your body onto your right shin. Bring both hands down to this front leg. One hand on your knee, one hand onto your foot, and take a squat down into this like pigeon squat. And then using your hands to help move yourself, rock yourself from side to side. So kind of like explore what this hip feels like. This is going to be especially for this left hip in this particular motion. Your right ankle is doing lots of work for you right here. Okay? Cross your left hand on top of your left foot. Stand all the way up. Hold on to that left foot. So maybe your left knee is out to the side. Maybe you start to extend it a little bit. Here we are. Release your left foot. Circle it back behind you. Coming to airplane. Warrior three. Drop your left toes down. Shift your weight back into the left foot equally. Left and right. Maybe even a little bit more left. And pause. Right ankle. Right ankle's doing things. Pause in gratitude for this righty. Thank you, right ankle. Hey, that's amazing. Like yoga makes your ankles real strong and your feet. Okay, from even this position, this is almost like a pyramid stance, right? But we're standing all the way upright and not in the folded position. Find those hips that are square. Your feet might need to be further apart from each other. You're welcome to step them further apart from each other in this or in any sort of pose that we might do like this. Okay, so find that position for yourself. Bring your hands to your hips. Lean your weight more forward onto your front foot. So to lift your left heel up off the mat. Put a little bend in your right leg. As you do so then, I want you to send your chest forward, thinking your hips are going back. So I want you to think of like pushing your hips with your fingers. Push your hips back with your fingers. Push them back. Send your chest forward. Keep your right hip pulling back and your left hip moving forward. This back toe is back here for stability. Think of dropping your chest down so your shoulders are level with your hips or close to it, and then rise all the way back up. When you rise up, think of standing tall. Then again, push with your fingers, send your hips back. So not a bend in your knee, we're thinking hips. Push that back and lift back up again. And again, send it back and lift up and send back and lift up. This time you can take your hands out to the side, leave them where they are, take them out to the side, hands at prayer or hands overhead. This time keep that right hip pulling back, send your weight forward, back toes grounded, your arms overhead, this is the hardest, oh my gosh. Maybe your back foot lifts up just a minute, woo! Okay, cross that bottom leg behind you, left shin down. I can't even talk. Bring your fingertips to the ground. Drop your left toes down off to the right side. You can drop down to your knee or do this with no hands and sit all the way down, back behind your left heel. Hum to your boat pose. Find a moment there. Low boat. And drop it. Excellent. Oh, wonderful. From here, I want you to roll over onto your left side, circle your way all the way onto your mat to your downward facing dog. So I'm not going to have you rotate through any sort of boat pose. You certainly could do that as well. You can do it there however you want to your downward facing dog. Rock it forward, step it back. As you get here, feel free to pedal, rock and roll, shake, twerk as you would like. Lift your right leg high. And step your right leg forward to the front of the mat. With your left hand grounded, reach your right hand open towards the ceiling. Push the back of your left thigh open towards the ceiling. Lean your hips more forward towards the front of the mat, so let your knee track more over your heel, over your ankle. And then bring your right hand on the outer right edge of your foot, send your hips back, making a long pyramid. So keep your right hip pulling back, but your back heel is not going to be grounded. Again, bend into your front knee, twist your right arm open to the ceiling. Good. Pause. We're going to turn this into a right side plank. You are welcome to toe heel that right foot and keep that as a support. You could also drop a bottom knee down. Be mindful of what this shoulder, elbow, wrist is doing for you on this left side. Keep pushing down with your entire palm grounded. From here, okay, staying here for just a moment, you're going to lift your hips up. We are going to transition to a right elbow plank. So taking the weight out of the wrist. So bring your right elbow down. If your back foot is there, is supporting you, drop your bottom knee down. And maybe, crawl your way over to the right side. Now, there are options if you had your side plank on your left side, just dropping your wrist down, your hand down, your fist down of your right side, rolling over to an elbow plank on your right side. You can split your feet, stack them. Here's a top leg for support. We're going to pause here. Invitation. Stay here and hold this whole time. Other invitation. Lift your top leg up. Drop it down. Maybe lift it up again and drop it down. Bend your top leg so your knee is on your knee. Lift it up and drop it down. Lift it up, drop it down. Yeah, one more time, lift it up and drop it down. Good. Kick your left leg straight, split your stance. So your left leg is in front of your right. Now bend your right leg, drop your right knee on the mat, and then move your left foot back to the back of the mat again. So it's in line with your body because it was kind of in front of you. So bring that back in line. Invitation. Stay here. Keep pushing out through this bottom shoulder. Other invitation, thinking inner thighs. Inner thighs, I want you to lift this bottom leg off the mat and touch your knees as close together as you can. Ready, set, lift it off, drop it down. Lift it up, drop it down. 3 more times up, tap. Down 2 more times, up, tap. Drop it down 1 more time, up, tap, pause and hold. 3 and 2 and 1. Good, circle around, both forearms on the ground. Whoo. And walk your toes in, dolphin pose. Either push your way up to a downward facing dog, maybe walk your toes a little bit further back before you do that, or walk your hands to downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high, and however you like to wiggle, step, swing your left leg up to the top of the mat, do so. Sweep your left hand open to the ceiling, push the back of your right thigh towards the ceiling. Maybe even taking a bigger spin and twist open to the back of the mat. And then bring your left hand outside your left foot, putting your fingertips on the ground, send your hips back, straighten your front leg. I need a long pyramid fold. You're stretching the backside of your left leg. Bend into your front left leg again. Open your left shoulder to the left side of the room. And one more time, take this to this long pyramid. Perfect. Rock yourself back forward. Again, we're going to a side plank on your right hand. So you feel free to wiggle that left foot. Push into this bottom hand, elbow, shoulder. You can stack the feet. You can lift the top leg. Keep lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. Maybe bottom knee is down. From wherever you are, I want you to come to a left elbow plank. In this left elbow plank, again, support yourself however you like. You can stay here, hold this whole time. Otherwise, invitation, lift this top leg up once and take it back down. Lift it up twice, take it back down. Bend your top leg so your foot's behind you. Lift that leg up and take it down to your knee. Lift it up, take it down to your knee. One more time, lift it up, take it down to your knee. Kick your right foot forward. Drop it over to the right side of the mat. Now bend your left knee, drop your left knee down. If that's too much to even transfer, you could drop your hip down, bend your left leg, and then lift your butt up off the mat again. Pull your right leg back in line with your body. Keep this shoulder really active, your left shoulder, and push into the ground. Option, an invitation to stay here. Option, if you want more, let's tap that bottom knee to the top knee, anywhere from 1 to 5 times. Right side lifts, tap, 1. Tap it down, lift it up, 2. Tap it down, lift it up, tap, 3. Tap it down, lift it up, tap, 4. Tap it down, lift it up, 5, stay for 3, keep it, 2, yes, 1, rotate forearm plank. Ah, yes, stay here, forearm plank, stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here. Drop your knees down to the mat, leave your toes tucked underneath you, crawl yourself all the way back to toes pose at the back of your mat. Close your eyes, turn your hands, palms up on your lap. Lift your chin. Stay in this toes pose, stretching the bottoms of your feet. If this feels really intense for you, you're welcome to untuck your toes or sit up high on your knees. Open your eyes. From this position, I want you to try to lift both knees up off the mat as close together as you can. So start to lean back just a little bit. Try to catch the balance on your tippy toes. I call these quad rockers because you do them enough times, you feel them in your quads. All right, I want you to drop it forward again. Be kind to your knees. Drop it forward. So I'm going to lean back a little bit to just counter the weight of my legs and my torso. Drop them down together. Yeah. Okay, one more time. Lift them up, find that balance. Drop your heels down, forward fold. The back of the mat. Stand all the way up, circle your arms up and over your head. And shake it out. Any sort of movement on, off your mat. Here's what we're going to do as we finish up our time together. We're going to start at the back of the mat. We're going to flow through some of the things we did in a little bit quicker pace. Use it at the pace that feels good for you at this moment. Then we're going to slow it down. We're doing a couple ending postures, and then we'll end in our Savasana. Here we are at the back of the mat. In this back of the mat, something that maybe you don't think of often, right? So we started at the top of the mat, and maybe from warrior 3, we step back to this lunge. In this way, we are going to start at the back of the mat, and we're going to step forward to that lunge. So I want you to lift your right leg up. You got to take a big stance. Okay, so there's a little bit more power in this. Okay, so start to lean forward. Drop that right knee down. From that right knee down, high lunge. Reach your hands high. Open up warrior 2. Warrior 2, take it back, Skandasana to the back. To extended side angle, forward. Extended side angle to half moon pose. Half moon pose to bending both legs now. Square your hips forward. Cross your right hand on top of your left, holding on top of your left leg, either holding onto your leg or the bottom of your foot. Take us to a standing twist. From the standing twist, release your front foot, turn your chest forward, bring your hands to your heart, coming to a pigeon squat. From pigeon squat, take your left hand to the outer edge of your left foot or grabbing onto your big toe, rise up or onto your knee and take the left leg out to the left. Release your leg, circle your leg back, circle your hands back alongside your body, coming to an airplane arms warrior 3, left hip pointing down towards the ground. Good. Land your back toes down, so lower it down, big step back. Good. Drop your back knee to the ground, reach your hands high, coming to this low lunge. From this low lunge, send your hips back, coming to half splits, bring your fingertips down to the mat. Okay, ready? I want you to start to send yourself even further back to the mat, so lift your back knee up off the mat and drag your front heel backwards. And now connect your back foot. Option, float it for a moment. Option, connect your back foot to your front foot to your back foot. So you can float that back front foot, bring it back together. We're in our toes balanced now, out the back of the mat again. Perfect forward fold, drop your heels, lean forward. Inhale, stand, rise and reach your hands up and over your head. Exhale, pull your hands to your heart, pull your left knee up towards your chest. Big step forward with your left foot. Land your front foot down, reach your hands high. Open up, warrior 2. Adjust the distance between your feet if necessary. Take it back to Skandasana, to the back of the mat. Forward now to extended side angle. Up to half moon pose. I'm into a single leg squat. Square your hips, bend both knees next to each other. Cross your left hand onto your right leg, onto knee, shin, foot, and twist and open to the right side. Bring yourself forward. Cross your right ankle on top of your left knee. Pigeon squat with your hands at your heart. Using your right hand on your right foot, your right knee, your right big toe, stand, reach your right leg off to the right side. Release that right foot, circle your leg and your arms back to warrior 3. Put a bend in your left leg as you step your right foot really far back, drop your right knee down, sweep your hands up and over your head into a slow lunge. Send your hips back as you straighten your front leg, bring your fingertips to the ground to half splits. With your fingertips, you can help push yourself even more back. Pop your right knee up off the mat. Find yourself back balancing in this toes pose. Maybe your left foot pops up off the ground and connects back together. Beautiful forward fold. Inhale, stand, rise and reach your hands up and over your head. Exhale, pull your hands to your heart, bring your right knee towards your chest. One more time per side. Take a big step forward with your right foot. High lunge, inhale. Option breath base, you do not have to take it, you can move slower. Take it, exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, back to Skandasana. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, half moon pose. Exhale, take this to the squat. Cross your right hand on top of your left. Inhale, as you take that twist. It's a big movement. Exhale, pigeon squat. Inhale, take your left leg out to the left. Exhale, warrior three. Drop your back toes down, drop your back knee down. Inhale, reach your hands high. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, send yourself a little bit further back. Maybe your front toe lifts. Feet together, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand, rise, reach. Exhale, lift your left foot up. Big step forward with your left foot. Reach your hands high. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, Skandasana. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, half moon pose. Exhale, squat. Left hand on top of right leg. Inhale, take that twist to the right. Exhale, pigeon squat. Inhale, right hand to right foot. Open the right leg to the right. Exhale, warrior three. Land the back foot down. Land your toes down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, back. Maybe the front foot lifts. Bring your toes together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand, rise and reach your hands up and over your head. Exhale, fold right back down again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, crawl your way out to downward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down to your belly. Crawl your elbows up underneath you with your shoulders over your elbows. With your left hand, place your left hand onto the ground so you can twist your pelvis off the ground on that left side. Pull your left knee up so your left knee is level with your left hip. And then drop your pelvis back down towards the ground again. So coming to half frog. Now less of the bend of your calf touching the back of your thigh, but thinking of this 90-degree angle between your heel and your knee and your hip. You can bring your hands forward and stay in this half frog position. If this is feeling crunching your low back, think of lifting your low abdomen off the ground, like the space underneath your belly button. Or you can take and cross your arms and drop your head all the way down. You can turn it to one direction or the other. At this moment of pause. If you laid yourself down, walk yourself back up so your elbows are on the ground. With your left hand, push into your left hand so your left elbow lifts off the ground. With your right hand, cross it underneath your left elbow. Keep reaching that right hand over underneath. Drop your right shoulder down. And then roll with your back off your mat. Keep your left knee where it is, but let it cross your body. Come into a supine twist off your mat. Reach your right hand off to the, your left hand off to the left and turn your head towards your left side. You can keep your left leg bent as is. You can also straighten that left leg off to the side. Another option is this bottom leg. You can stay where it is. You can also bend your bottom leg, and with your hand that's off to the side, the left hand, you can reach down and grab that bottom right foot. You can play with how much you're pulling on them, what direction they're faced. You can kind of wiggle your hips around and think of opening your chest towards the ceiling, pulling that left shoulder blade on your back. Maybe your head's still looking to the left. Release all feet. Roll back the way you came. So roll back onto your right shoulder, place your left hand onto the ground, pull your right arm out underneath you. With your left hand, bring your hips back up underneath you, and then reverse it. Plant your right hand down. Get your right knee out to the side, forming a 90-degree angle between your ankle, your knee, and your hip. And then release both hands forward, either staying here with your elbows down, lifting up through your chest. Maybe lifting your low belly off the ground, staying here in this sphinx with a half frog leg. Or bringing your head down to the mat, turning your head one direction or the other. Your choice. If you did something on the last side with your arms or torso, but you feel like it would be better if it was something else this time, please give yourself permission to do that. Walk yourself back up onto your forearms. With your right hand planted, then push into your right hand so your right elbow comes off the ground. Cross your left arm underneath your right. And reach your left arm over towards the right side of the mat. Drop your left shoulder down. Yes. And then roll over onto your back. Let your right knee stay where it is. Reach your left hand. I did it again. Right hand off to the right. Come into this supine twist. You can stay here where you've landed. Wiggle around in your hips however you need to. You're probably going to be off your mat, but once we go back, we'll slide back again. This top leg can stay bent, or you can straighten it and reach it forward in any sort of way. This bottom leg, you can bend your bottom knee, your left knee with your right hand. You maybe grab the top of that foot. This is helpful to do if you need straps to have a partner to do this with. So if it's really difficult to find your feet to hands, which is an adventure sometimes in yoga, then and you don't have a partner, then make it easy, right? Don't force it. Wherever it is, don't force it. If you do have a hold of that foot, see if you can try to actively pull your right shoulder blade down onto your back. Maybe take your gaze still looking towards that right side. So thinking of that stretch even on the side, left side of your neck. Release all feet. Rotate back onto your belly. As you rotate back onto your belly, crawl your hands onto the mat, send your hips back to child's pose. Any sort of child's pose that feels like it would serve you right now. Mark yourself forward to a tabletop position and find your way onto your back. You can do that with your head forward to the front of the mat or to the back of the mat. Please support yourself with any sort of props. If you do have a bolster, bring that. You can put that under your knees. You're welcome to do Supta Baddha Konasana, which we did at the beginning of class with any sort of block support. Grab any socks or blankets or extra clothing that you would like that would feel comfortable as you take a couple moments here to rest. If you want to bring a blanket down and either put it on top of your hips, as think of this work that we have done, or even on top of your chest. So either way, I think it will be nice to do it on your hips, thinking of our focus of our class here today. But other options are open as well. You're also welcome to just lay the hell down wherever you are. Let it be easy. There's nothing that you have to do right here. The whole intent of this moment is literally the pause. Let there be a very conscious inhale and exhale as you find this place of stillness. Feel free to adjust if you find some place and you need to adjust after a little bit of time. Let this be easy. Let this be soft. Let your face be soft and your jaw be soft. Let an exhale feel like it grounds you closer to the ground. Let an inhale feel like it makes you buoyant. Let your exhale make you feel surrounded by that water that makes you float, held, safe, floating with complete ease, just like when you go into water and somebody who is much younger than you, a child, can carry you around in their arms. That kind of feeling. Soften your face more. Take a conscious inhale and exhale. Aware of the in-breath, aware of the out-breath. And before you move, recognize just for a moment the simplicity it is to just be here in this moment. The simplicity to be right here. Recognition of the work that you have done, the body that has allowed you to do that, the joy that that is and is possible, and the simplicity by doing just this thing, and the joy and curiosity and bravery that that continues to feed for each of us. What a gift. Draw your hands to your body, fill your heart, fill your lungs, feel your warmth. Find any sort of movement with your hands and your feet. Wiggle however it is that you feel called to wiggle. And find your way to one side. And push your way all the way up to a seated position that is easy to sit in. Close your eyes and bring your hands, palms up on your legs. Soft in your shoulders, soft in your seat. Circle your arms out to the side with your palms up towards the ceiling. Keep your chest broad and open across your collarbones. Keep your chin level with the earth. Exhale here. Inhale, extend your arms out from side to side. Feel broad across the front side of your body. Exhale, clap your hands up and over your head. And pull your hands down to your heart, either staying there in prayer or bring your hands connected to your body. And deep gratitude for my body, for your body, for each of our bodies, and the ability we have to move, for this time and attention we have invested to be together. Thank you. Go. Keep being brave.